Hey guys, we're here with back in my studio for the final check-in for my aerobic base building period video series where I've been following along in my low heart rate training for the past 15 weeks. We started at about a 9-minute 10-second pace at about 5 miles around the track. 5 weeks later, I did another test and it was down to an 8:17 on a beautiful crisp South Texas morning, still kind of in that winter time frame. Then it moved down to about a 7:59 after an increase of heat and humidity and putting up with the seasonal change. And for our final MAF test, drum roll please, 7:53. So super excited about that. It was still a 7-second improvement, or 6. I was an English major, but I can math. With a slight caveat, or I would say we can put an asterisk there, because I found out, being new to running, I started running in March 2020. I believe whatever Mr. Garmin says right there, if he says I ran from point A to point B and it took this much time, I believe him. Come to find out, around the track, there are certain watches that have track mode. I don't have track mode. I don't know what track mode is, but apparently your GPS isn't very accurate around a track. So I was going by that. So my actual time when I did the laps is about 6 seconds per mile slower than what I actually ran. So my 7:53 really is probably more like a 7:59. However, there was still, since I was using wonky Strava GPS data the whole time, there was still an improvement from like a 9:05 or 9:10 down to a 7:59, now with heat and humidity. So, super excited about that. Secondly, over the weekend, I did a half marathon time trial. So I am starting a training block this week. Now for the Chicago Marathon, I'm doing a higher running Sage Kennedy, Sandy Napier, Boston qualifying time training plan, and I'm going to make videos for that to follow along. But in order to pick my paces via the VDOT calculator, Jack Daniels calculator, you need a recent race thing. And so I run 5Ks sporadically, and I kind of know generally where I'm at, but the best indicator is actually a half marathon. So to measure it out correctly, I did it at the track. I used my manual lap button. My final half marathon time came in at 1:28:03, which is a 2-minute plus 2.5-minute PR. There was no training for it. I was just doing the methadone method and low heart rate training all the way there. So that's super exciting. It was 75 degrees and 90% humidity, like it has been the past few months and will be for the next few months as well. So I know that it probably could have been better with a beautiful, crisp morning, but one can always have hope and dream. So excited about that and excited where we're going. The third thing, and lastly, I want to cover is the mistakes that I made through this aerobic base building period. And I wrote them down because I'm likely to forget them. And I will say the first one was that I ran a half marathon like 5 weeks into it, and I would not run any races. Not race any races, and definitely not race any race, but definitely not run a race either. It's completely unnecessary. I wanted to see how far or how fast I had gotten in a short period of time. I got impatient, and really that's what the MAF test is for, is to see how you progress over time and check in regularly. So I stressed my system. It took me a week before I got my heart rate back down from the fatigue from that race, and so it's unnecessary, and I wouldn't do that again. Another one, mistake two, I think I got away from the bike and I got away from strength training. I still strength train, but maybe like 2 or 3 times a week versus in the beginning when I was doing it 5 or 6 times a week. The same thing with the bike. I was highly motivated. I wasn't running as many miles, and that was all about, the aerobic base building block. But after 7 or 8 weeks, fatigue started to settle in. I had gotten a cold, and I kind of fell off on the bike as well. So I think next time I'm gonna have to be more disciplined when it comes to the strength and conditioning part, and also supplementing with the bike. Number 3, I think it's okay to sprinkle a little dusting of speed work, like a park run on Saturday, just something like if I'm running 60 miles, then I think, 3 miles, 95.5 is okay. But I had a few weeks where it got out of hand, and I ended up running almost like 80-20 that week. And again, it's fatiguing the other system and not my aerobic system. So it's just delaying my progress. And I think I would have seen better progress had I just stayed low heart rate the entire time. I think number 4, I don't know what number I'm on, I'm gonna say 4, is it's better to do around the same amount of miles 4 straight weeks than try to get some ego sexy number of saying, oh, I'm gonna go 60, 66, 72, and 80, right? Well, if you take the median of that and just say, I'm gonna do 66, 66, 66, 66, your body gets used to it, your system, for me, my body got used to it. I ended up doing that for the last 2 sets of 5 weeks, and I feel like my body responded really well to it. I didn't risk injury, and it's really better to be consistent than go for those big ones. And so the last one mistake that I made, I think nutrition-wise, it took me a while to come around, but I think I could do better with the low carbs. I'm not doing that much speed work. I don't need carbs to fuel my run. Now that I'm switching to a marathon training block, back comes the bagel, we're going carbs. I gotta fuel some of the the workouts and the runs. But I think I could have been a little bit more strict on the diet. About halfway through, I caught it, and I think I had started it maybe in the low 150s in weight, and ended up around 157, 158, and then by the end, back down to like 149 or 150. So there was a couple of months where I caught it, but like halfway there, I was just like eating everything, and then I kind of turned it around and ate more responsibly. So I don't have an issue with my weight or anything like that. I just, I want to be healthy. And so I know that next time I definitely had some opportunities with that. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to probably try to, I am going to make videos to follow the training for the training plan going forward for the marathon training plan, and keep updated with things like that. I will also eventually flex out that selfie stick and do videos that aren't just sitting in my gym and lifting weights. And so anyway, thanks for coming along for the journey. I feel like I've got a good aerobic base built going into this training plan. So I am excited to see now how much faster I get, how at threshold paces and 5K paces, and if I'm able to sustain faster paces for long periods of time, and kind of where we end up going into Chicago on October the 9th. Thanks for watching. It's like the 3rd time I said that, but I mean it. Love you.